October 18th, time to take the boat from Norwich, where we are in the summer, to Portland, Connecticut, where we store for the winter. We planned this trip for 3 or 4 days before, but each day we get weather signals that say not a good idea. Wind from the west, southwest, 15 to 20 knots, small craft advisories, gusting to 25, and we'd like to move the boat without moving all the furniture inside. So we waited it out, thought it was going to be a good day. It was cold, and the wind was going to be from the southwest, and it was going to be 10 to 15, tolerable. And so we untied the boat and headed down the Thames River. You can see the Mohegan Sun Tower, big hotel they built there around the gambling casino. Everybody takes pictures of it as they go by. Really strange to see it in a little city like Norwich, but it's there. So we have 15 miles to go between here and New London, and it's going to be a nice ride, I think. Although we're wearing gloves and a winter coat at this point, so turns out that it's a good thing we were. Uh, 10 miles down the river, after a half-hour stop while the Navy sub-police and the Coast Guard tried to retrieve a sunken aluminum rowboat from in front of the sub-base. We're approaching New London. New London is on our right here. Connecticut College and the Coast Guard Academy are both on the right. And we're going to go under the bridges and out into the Sound and make a right going west. And at this point we're kind of hoping it's going to be nice, but we're going to find out in a few minutes that it's going to be a rough ride. But still nice to enjoy New London. Going any place on a boat, as far as I'm concerned, is just fine. And that's about 13 miles out in the Sound later. We're up to Old Saybrook, and you can see it's calmed down nicely now. I really couldn't operate the camera under those conditions because we were getting some water up there, and we were banging around pretty good. But once I got inside the shelter of Long Island, which is on our port side, it really protects a lot of the eastern Sound from that bad wind, and we go cruising in. It's still blowing here, but that boat in front of us is sightseeing. We find out later to see the fall colors, of which there were a few. But he's just out there cruising around, and so we're going to follow him into the inlet here at the Connecticut River. You can see the lighthouse directly ahead, almost directly ahead. And we don't cut this breakwater. A lot of local people do, and you can. And I've been through here maybe 100, 150 times in the last 30 years, but I just can't bring myself to do it. You know, if you miss, it's a rock. And that just ruins your day if you're a boater, or your season. So he's turning in. There's a jetty on both sides. And we're going to turn in right behind him. It's a big no-wake zone normally. once you get inside, but by this time of year they've removed the no wake sign markers and nobody around anyway. So we just motor right in, slow down a little bit, but just motor right in. Not going to cut that red either. We're going to go around it. Sorry, but last time I bought a propeller it was about $300 or $400. No sense doing that today. So up the Connecticut River we go. I'm going to spare you all the no-wake zones that we had to go through to get this far up. We're north of Essex now. That's about 7-8 miles from the mouth of the river. And it was so nice here. I just turned the camera on for a while to just enjoy Old Lyme on the right and Essex on the left. We saw a few boats down in this area, but not very many. Of course, it's the middle of the week. It was a Wednesday, so you're not going to get too many people out just looking at the non-existent fall foliage. It was all green, just about almost all the way up the river. Still had the heavy coat on. I think we took the gloves off by now, but wind was still blowing in our faces. We have to have the front window of our bridge enclosure open so we can see. And it's nice and cozy with it closed, but I don't know. It just takes away some of the detail. And always looking for stuff in the Connecticut River. You never can tell what might be floating out here. But you can see when you get further up the river, this is another 5 miles probably. 4 or 5 miles. We're getting into deep river, and we're far enough from the sound now so that we're not getting very much wind. The sun was now really nice and warm. Coat comes off, and we could sit down and just enjoy making little steering adjustments here and there, but not a lot to do. Just enjoy the river. Notice we're on the east side of the river now, and on this trip we go from the east side to the west side to the east side to the west side, because as the river changes its direction, the channel does too. And a ways further up the river, we're coming to halfway now, halfway to Portland. This is East Haddam, and the famous East Haddam Swing Bridge, second oldest in the country, I think. And the Goodspeed Opera House, which you can see on the right. You'll see it a little bit better in a minute when we get closer. I did slow the boat down here, although this is not a no-wake zone, because there are people that have cottages on the left, and some of them still have boats in the water, and you know, might damage somebody's boat with a big wake. It's not worth it. I think we took a little bathroom break here, just set those throttles down to low and head below. And come back up right away. And that puts us closer to the swing bridge. I always say this to people that are on the boat, and they say, well, will we fit? Well, we always fit. The boat's about 13, 14 feet high from the water line. This bridge is taller than that, although it doesn't look like it is. And you can just cruise right through. This opens every hour on the half hour, I believe. I haven't opened it in years. I don't think I've ever opened it, actually. But in the spring, we see lots of boats waiting for this bridge to open because there's a lot of traffic on it. It's one of the two places you can cross the river. until you get up to Middletown. There's quite a lot of traffic on it. So they stick to that opening schedule pretty much. And we're just at no wake speed here, very slow. Engines are at idle. It's kind of a fun bridge to go underneath. I think the water gauge on the left, you really can't see it. It's all stained in green from the summer, but I believe it's at 18 feet. Okay, we got a little further up the river. Well, actually quite a lot further up the river. We're probably another 10 miles. The entire river trip is 33 miles. And on the left is Middletown, and that's where we're going to be going. Although we're still, in this shot, about 6 or 7 miles below where we're going to be docking. But the sun was out and it was nice, so I thought I'd turn the camera on. And we make the last turn and enter the Portland area. There are 3 marinas. Ours is the one in the distance, the furthest in the distance. But all 3 are busy. A lot of people come up here because at our marina, Portland Riverside, you can work on your own boat. On the other 2 marinas that are here, you cannot. But they're still popular for storage. Probably not as popular as Portland Riverside is, though. I'm going to bore you with this approach to the dock because it's the last time I get to run the boat until next May. And that's not a happy prospect right now. So we'll cruise in here among the moorings. You can see we're not going very fast. You really can't here. Wakes are frowned upon. Strongly frowned upon. This is the Yankee boatyard we're passing here. Second one. First one was Portland Boat Works. They still have boats at moorings and lots of boats still in the water. A lot of people this far up the river will keep their boats in very late because every once in a while you get a nice day, and of course the river's easy to navigate and it's never stormy. So you can go out and take a ride, which lots of people do. But once we get here, we're going to be occupying a slip for a couple days, and they're going to need that slip for other winter storage customers. So once we're in and tied up, we come down the next day or the day after and change the oil in the engines and winterize the engines so that the boat's then free to be taken out and slip used by somebody else. That's Yankee's floating gas dock there on the right. And that about ends Yankee and begins Portland Riverside, our winter home. Now the protocol is that they're busy. So what you do is kind of cruise by, slow down. Maybe you cruise by a couple times until someone sees you, and they'll come down and wave at you and tell you what slip to take. And that's what we're going to do this afternoon, is going to drive by, enjoy running the boat. One more time. Kicked the engines out of gear here and kind of stopped. And then said, well, let's go up the whole way. Somebody will see us. We found out later that someone did see us, and just took them a few minutes to get somebody off whatever they were doing and get them to walk down the dock and find a spot for us. But it seems long when you're sitting here watching it on your computer, but it was really only about 5 minutes or so, probably less than that. The clicking is me working the transmissions. So we'll just go up a little further, see what's happening. Well, let's just go down to the end and wave at people. Because I've been here for so long, maybe 35 years, we kept a boat here at these docks on the river for about 10 years before we left to go to down to the Sound, down to Norwich, New London first. They kind of assume I know what I'm doing and where I'm going. Of course, I don't. I mean, I guess I know what I'm doing, but I don't know where I'm going. And they also know that since I'm kind of a friend of the place, that they don't have to give me any special service. I'm kind of a friend of the family. And that's nice. I could stay out here all afternoon anyway, so I love it. And we're getting down to the end. All small boats are. I can see guys working on the travel lift, pulling out a sailboat. Was nice though. Yeah, I hear voices. All right. Must have gotten something on my phone. I heard a ding. There's some boats out for a ride on a Wednesday afternoon up there. A couple of go-fast boats, actually. Now that noise you hear is not our boat. It's a go-fast boat out in the channel. Actually coming off the ramp, the yard next door. We don't make noises like that. Well, what do you think? Let's turn around. It turns out that's what they were waiting for me to do. But yeah, that's not us. We don't make noises like that. And definitely not like that. Ooh. We're about to get the call. I see somebody waving. That's him. So we head into our slip, as temporary as that might be. The last 200 feet of our 2017 boating season, right here. I used to dock here by myself all the time, and now docking head first seems strange. But I think we'll make it. Next to a nice old Hatteras. Good company. Next time I'm at this dock, I'm going to be starting our 2018 boating season. Can't wait for that to start.